So, all it really took was a few clicks on a website, and suddenly I was on a plane, flying north towards 18 tiny little islands, floating somewhere in the North Atlantic Ocean. I had never been there before. Actually, I barely knew how to pronounce half the names of all the islands. But somehow, I'm here now, and I'm alone. This is the story of my first workaway. There is a strange little moment that happens when you arrive somewhere completely new. The airplane lands, the doors open, you step outside with your backpack, and for a few seconds, the whole world feels like it has been rearranged. The roads have different names and the houses look like they belong in a storybook. And you realize nobody here knows you. You could be anyone. So I chose to be someone who had come to take care of two very small and very furry little friends. So for the next few weeks I would live in the house of a stranger, which sounds slightly alarming when you say it like this, but sometimes the best things in life start with something strange. Well, the stranger became a friend. The house became a home, and the two furry little creatures became my best companions. My days became wonderfully simple. Waking up, using colors, playing the guitar, looking out of the window to see if the mountains had decided to appear that day. Strolling through little villages and nature that feel like in a fairy tale. Watching the fog slowly swallowing the hills. Coming home from a day in the snow and warm hands wrapped around a cup of tea. And somewhere between all these little moments, I realized something profound. There was one day, as I stood at the edge of the ocean, I found myself slowly drifting off into her details. At first I thought I was simply looking, but somehow time disappeared and I was sucked into a void. I stood there for more than an hour without moving at all. I watched the waves arrive and dissolve, and I noticed movement and detail and patterns and structures. The ocean was writing her story in front of my eyes. The longer I looked, the more there was to see. What had seemed from a distance like simply water became an entire universe of color and texture and rhythm and light. A living constellation unfolding right in front of me. It felt almost like a trance, me just standing there paying attention. I realized that sometimes it's not the grand moments that transform me, not the great journeys and the dramatic endings or the extraordinary stories I tell afterward. Sometimes change finds me in the slowest minute, in the moments when I stop searching for something extraordinary and become completely present with what is already here. There are moments that cannot be explained because they were never meant to be understood in the first place. They were meant to be felt, lived, witnessed. Standing there at the edge of the ocean, I felt for a while that I had stepped out of time. And what I found is difficult to name. I wasn't really here to just travel to a place. I was here to live it, to experience it, and to get a feeling for the life that happens here. To see how people spend an ordinary Tuesday in a place that feels extraordinary to me, and to learn the little things, the food and the routines and the way people talk and the way they make a home in the middle of the ocean. And maybe that's what I love most about this way of traveling. You don't just visit a place, you borrow a tiny piece of someone's life. And perhaps the most beautiful part is that you never really know which little moments will stay with you. Maybe it will be a mountain or a conversation, maybe a rainy afternoon, or maybe the two little furry friends waiting at the door. Or maybe it will simply be the feeling of being somewhere you had never been before, with absolutely no idea what was waiting for you, and realizing you were exactly where you were supposed to be all along.